Too much sauce. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a big man push. Then what you need now, only me get time. Chop him like Tozo. Do you know about in the fire? Now you go tire. Enjoyment minister, just a while. Oh, you come again. My butt in the fire. Now you go tire. Enjoyment minister, just a while. Oh, you come. So for your information. You informate, I believe your government, you legislate. So make you communicate and start to relate. Every time that we spend, I appreciate. So for your informate, I believe your government, you legislate. So make you communicate and start to relate. Every time we spend, I appreciate, yeah. Me get a little problem, I have a little problem. Shy you don't fool for my system, oh. Shy you don't deal for my system. Now this one turn biggie problem, oh. This one turn biggie problem. I just need some cuddling on the low. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a big man push. Young boy with the big man boss. Tarodo, you got too much sauce. Oh my gosh.
Good evening and welcome live to Naija Voices, your finest. Welcome on Naija Voices once again. It's another very beautiful evening. I'm sure you could see on the screen right in front of you is one and only Prince. Well, I gotta remember to always add Councillor to that now. That is very, very important that we had the Councillor to it. I will introduce my guest in about a few minutes. But as usual, I say welcome again to another edition of Naija Voices, coming live to you all the way on Star Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. I hope the week has been very good. Thank you very much. You've already got some of your fans there. Stephanie Okafo, someone I know very well, and I'm sure you're familiar with that name. Once again, I say Cllr and welcome again to another edition, a very, very important one tonight. Continue to share the button, the 16th of May 2018. I say Ututu Oma to all my friends and family and all the loved ones of Naija Voices from all over the world, and Baka the Yama, as we're already in summertime right here in London. Well, I thought the weather was very good, this morning until on my way to the studio, I realized that I have to definitely come down with my jacket. Once again, it's a very beautiful evening, and for the next 45 minutes, we're gonna have this amazing young girl that is in the studio with me right now, and I'm sure we will be able to learn quite a lot from her. And the most important thing is the journey, as you can see from the topic, a journey into going into politics. Politics determines a lot of things that we do in our life, but the most important thing is let us welcome our guest there, Councillor Princess Elizabeth Bright. Thank you for taking out of your very tight schedule to come all the way into Star Radio UK. On behalf of the management, we would like to say congratulations once more, and thank you for joining us on Niger Voices. You've got the airwaves now. Maybe you might want to say something to start with my listeners that are already watching us from all over the world.
My listeners, I'm so thankful for this opportunity to be on Star Radio UK today. I'll be sharing my journey into politics, the journey that I took from the age of 8 to now being 22 and elected the youngest councillor in the London Borough of Borough and Dagenham. Indeed, it has been a journey, one that has had many ups and downs, but in all, I've stayed determined, worked hard, and achieved the goal. But it doesn't end here. I'm still working towards my end goal, which is to become the first female black prime minister of this country.
Wow, that is very, very good to hear that the first female prime minister and the black one as well. And I can tell you that definitely we will be standing right behind you throughout that journey. Let us just go straight into it. I'm sure politics was not what you studied at university.
No, so at university I actually studied accounting with financial management. So from a young period of age, I've always been inclined to dealing with mathematics. I've been good with numbers. My dad, he's heavily involved in tutoring of mathematics all over the UK, and he, from a young period of age, installed upon myself and my siblings the ability to work hard and study and be able to make something good out of our talent. So I've always been good at mathematics. I sat my GCSE maths at the age of 10, done that really early, and so I went on to university, studied accountancy because I had loads of family members who were accountants, and just the forms of debits and credits and putting balance sheets together, I enjoyed it. So that's what I studied in university, and I actually graduated with a first class honours last year.
Wow. A lot of people will say from accounting to politics. I know your mom very well. I know your mom has been representing not just the BME, but she's been representing, the Barking and Dagenham. She was also at one point in Hackney, as a mayor. Was that the reason why you?
So I'd say my involvement in politics actually started from the age of 8. So when I was living in the London Borough of Hackney, my mum was on the campaign trail fighting a marginal ward in Haggerston. And I remember being 8 years old and seeing what my mother was doing, campaigning, leafleting, speaking to residents. And it was just something that I naturally just started to get involved in. So when she'd campaign, I would go out with her, I would be out with the other fellow councillors, and going in Hackney, there's a lot of flats. And I would be the little 8-year-old who would go right to the top, putting in the leaflets in the doors. And from there, I just sort of was able to gain a natural interest into campaigning. And campaigning, which is what I say to people who want to get involved in local politics, is key. It's one of the main things that you have to have a passion for if you want to get involved in politics. Because campaign is how you meet people, it's how you speak to people, and how you win people over. So the flair for campaigning grew from there. Then at the age of 11, my mum, she was elected the mayor of Hackney, not the young mayor, that was what I was. And she was elected the mayor of Hackney, and I was her official consort. So that was a civic role where she represented many diverse groups and ceremonial events, spoke to people. She represented the borough, so she was the first person in the London Borough of Hackney. And I was her consort, so I would go along with her. I would see the events she's attending, and it just grew. The passion to serve the community. Like, my mum was so selfless. She literally put her all in to serving the community. And she also reaped at the same time, because people saw how passionate she was, and that's why her political career has grown upon grown upon grown. So that's what led me, and that's the passion I have, seeing my mother as my role model, and also knowing that I can achieve what I want with hard work and determination. So then I just decided to join the Labour Party at the tender age of 15, and since then I've been actively involved in youth campaigns, in being on forums, in organising and mobilising young people to fight for social change. Because what I say to young people, especially when they're not interested in politics, is us young people, we're the future of tomorrow. So we are the ones who are going to change what takes place in Parliament, change what takes place in laws. So therefore we need to get involved. So when we moved to the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham, the neighbouring borough is Havering. So I put forward myself to be elected as the young mayor. That was in 2013, and that was my first ever political election. It was a non-political role, but I represented the whole of Havering, serving on the board, feeding back to MPs, feeding back to councillors and the leader of the council, sitting down and implementing so many strategies to make sure that the youth vote would increase. That election went really well. I won that. I served in Havering for 2 years, and after that I said no, it cannot stop here, because I saw how youth crime reduced in Havering. More young people were involved in social changes, campaigning. I was going to schools, bringing in people to speak about social things that affect young people today. We look at gun and knife crime, we look at antisocial behaviour, we look at mental awareness. These are things that us as young people can take charge of if we actually decide to do something. So from there, I was heavily involved in the Labour Party, campaigned with Sadiq Khan, campaigned for my MP John Cronus, and my local CLP, Dagenham and Raynham, they saw how active I was locally. Then I said I'd put myself forward to be a councillor, campaigned, and God be it, today I stand 22-year-old local councillor in Barking and Dagenham.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a beautiful journey, that is. There's something you said in 2015 you were, the mayor.
Yes, so in 2013 to 2015, yes, I served as the young mayor in the London Borough of Havering. That was my first ever position.
How old were you then?
15.
So you had the chauffeur, the driver,
Yes.
all these ceremonials
Yes,
that we.
the young, yeah.
I'm sure someone listening today will say, that is unbelievable. Someone listening now will say, it's impossible. How was it possible? I know you've been able to give us some background, but how was it real possible? Was it the passion?
Definitely, the passion and the drive. I say to people when they ask me, you're so young, how are you able to do this? Why are you able to manage your time? How is this possible? It's because from young I've always been passionate, and I've been someone who's a go-getter. So if I set myself a goal, I will make sure I do everything in order to achieve that goal. So when we moved to Havering, my father, who likes to read the newspapers, he saw the advertisement that they were looking for electing a new young mayor. And I said, this is for me. This is definitely the role that I can see myself being, because I wanted to get involved in politics. It was a non-political role, but I had to still get involved in the campaigning stage, which I had a lot of experience in from the London Borough of Hackney. So I said, this role is for me. I put myself forward. Luckily, I was schooling in the London Borough of Havering, then at Coopers, so therefore they enabled me to actually be part of this process. So I campaigned, I went to schools, I took this campaign like it was my life. I went to schools, I was handing out leaflets that I created, I used social media, I got a lot of people on board with me, and I literally won with a landslide victory, that campaign. And it was fantastic, because it was where the spark really ignited within me, and I said, this is just the beginning, and I'm still going further.
And you're still going to be going further, because
definitely.
we're seeing firstly, I want to say, someone has already said, this is my kind of slay queen. She's the real MVP. That is Humanis Osaho. He was meant to be in the studio as well, but he will be joining me on next week as well, because he has some little things he needs to sort out with his with his son. Councillor, you've really, said so much. But we will go on a short break now, but we'll be back in just about a few minutes because there's so much that I think we still need to, look into. Once again, if you've just joined us, this is Star Radio UK, your final
Welcome
radio station. Once again, we will go on a short break now, and then we'll be back. Make sure you stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Once again, as usual, still in the building with me is Councillor Princess Elizabeth Bright. Wow. Still live in the building with me is the one and only Councillor Princess. I have to remember because I did ask you the princess,
Yeah.
And what did you say to me when I asked you?
That's my first name. I've had a few people actually call me Elizabeth because they think princess is a title that my parents gave me. No, in fact, it's actually my first name. Yes.
Wow. Because when I spoke to you and I did mention, the princess, and you said to me, no, that is my name, and I could see, the princess in you.
Thank you.
To be honest, you've really, since I've been following you, for the last few years, you've been an amazing person, and I know because, I've worked close with your mom as well, and I've worked very close, with with Backing and Dagenham, and I can only say, the sky is the limit. Obstacles. There will be obstacles. I mean, you were contesting at the age of 15 with, I could imagine, going into that mayor role. I mean, people will always see the mayor role as someone that, not old, but, is a kind of set of different type of people, that takes that position. And the obstacle I want you to talk about, but also what you really enjoyed and what difference did you made, for that period of time that you were the mayor.
So, just to reiterate, sorry, it's the young mayor.
The young mayor.
The young mayor.
mayor,
No
yes,
worries.
yeah,
Yeah. So the young mayor of Havering. Yep. So, with regards to obstacles, during that campaign, I'd say the main obstacle, of course, as we've mentioned, is age. In life, of course, you will come across obstacles in every way, shape or form. And it's natural for you to come across obstacles if you're going to end up achieving something well in life. Nothing comes easy. So I say age definitely was a big obstacle for me, just because you'd have some people who would doubt and say, what does this 15-year-old girl think she's doing, trying to get involved in local politics, running as the young mayor? She's only been in the borough for 1 year, and it was in Havering, which is a borough that I didn't know too much about. But because I schooled there and I was passionate about what the leadership of the council were trying to do with regards to youth engagement, I said this is the right time for me to get involved, and that's when I did. Now, what did I love about it? I love the fact that I was working with 6 amazing deputies. So I was able to appoint 6 deputies to work alongside me, and we were able to function well as a group. Teamwork is so important in politics, and I can't reiterate this enough, because in politics people just try to run on their own, and I believe having a good team with different parts functioning well in one body makes the goals attainable. So once coming into the young mayor role, I said to myself that I wanted to see a change in the mood of young people with regards to getting involved in local politics. And I didn't mean specifically going out to vote, but I meant if we're organising events where we're calling keynote speakers to speak about social issues, let's see the place flooded out with young people. When I first joined the council, I would attend council meetings, and you wouldn't really have that much of a say if you're a young person. But by the end of the time that I finished my time in office as young leader, we were getting more comments from young people who were adding value to the decision-making process on the council, because they knew that their voices were heard, and the fact that their voices were heard made them happy. One thing young people always scream and complain about is the fact that our voices are not heard. We're not heard in society. We're the voiceless. But that's because we're not taking our time to actually voice out our opinions, and that can only take place if you yourself get out of your seats and get out on the streets, campaigning, putting together forums
and being a voice for the voiceless. And that's what I enjoy so much about politics, being able to serve the community selflessly without me really trying to gain much, but just the honour that you have from knowing that you're changing the life of some people who by themselves may not have been able to attain it.
You know what? I think let's read some of the comment coming through. Yes, teamwork makes the dream work. Also I've been told, please put some respect on that name. Address her as the Honorable Councillor.
Thank you.
You know what? You're just, one extraordinary person. And it's good to have, so many of you, within, not just the BME community. You did mention teamwork. I mean, just before we came live, I was telling you, I'm doing a program with the London Borough of Enfield.
Yes.
And during the last segment of the event today, teamwork was really mentioned, and it's good to hear from you as a young person saying teamwork. With your 6th deputy, you were able to put in a lot.
Yes, we were.
Wow.
We were.
Wow. Campaign. Let's look at now the local government election. The local government election is a different thing entirely, and I'm sure you know that.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you decide, you know what, I want to go for this?
I'd say it was after the snap election. So the snap election that took place, where I was out campaigning for my amazing MP, John Cridus. So we were campaigning to make sure that he was able to hold his seat in our constituency, Dagenham and Rainham. And I was so heavily involved in that campaign, and I knew how much it was to reap what you sow. We campaigned as a constituency to make sure that John Cridus was re-elected so that he could serve the community of Dagenham and Rainham. And since then, I saw how much people were coming up to me and saying, Princess, wow, you're really a campaigner. Wow, Princess, you're really someone who should get involved in local politics. You're involved in the constituency, but why don't you take things further? So when you're hearing these accolades from people around you, it just pushes and further fuels my passion. Of course, my mother, she always wishes the best for me. And she's always said to me from young, Princess, I've noticed this talent in you from young. The leadership roles that you've taken from a young period of age. Don't know if I mentioned, but in secondary school, I was the deputy head girl. In university, I was a senior student ambassador. So I've always been the type to take on leadership roles without hesitation. So once the snap election was over, our MP was re-elected, I said it's time for me as a young female to get involved, purely because we saw how the youth turnout increased in the snap election for our MP. So I said it's time for me to actually take my rightful position within our borough of Barking and Dagenham, and let's make a change, because young people in Barking and Dagenham, there's a lot that can be done. It's an amazing borough with amazing facilities, and young people are lucky to be living within this borough. But it just takes a few of us, including myself, to stand up and actually represent the young people on the local council so that our voices are heard. Now, just to mention, I'm representing Eastbrook Ward. So Eastbrook Ward is the ward in which I live in, which I'm passionate about. When I moved into Barking and Dagenham in 2011, lived in Eastbrook Ward since then, seen the amazing changes that our local councillors, who were Mick McCarthy and Tony Ramsey and Councillor Fergus, were actually doing within the ward. So I said yes. When it came to deciding whether to stand in the local elections and what ward, it wasn't even a hard decision for me to make, because I knew Eastbrook was the ward from the day dot that I wanted to stand in, so that I continue to make a difference in the area in which I live in and also have a voice on the local council. And it's really important, and why I'm so thankful for the local council and the constituency is that they realised the passion within me, and they were able to push me, put me forward, and also enable me to become elected. And the support during the campaign, I must say, from prominent people within the CLP, our leader of the council, Darren Rodwell, Margaret Mullane, who was fantastic, and our MP John Cridus. It was fantastic, the support that we had within Eastbrook Ward, which was seen as a target ward because the Tories are really coming at our ward to try and win it off us. But we kept going, we fought the battle, and we won the battle. And we have 3 local Labour councillors in Eastbrook Ward, one of which I am.
Wow. Just hold your thought there. You've said so much. We will take this short commercial break, and when we come back, we still have so much, to look into. But again, from someone on Facebook, Vicky Yabo says, "We are proud of you. God will surely help you, whatever way." Let us take this short commercial break.
Do you have an African fabric you don't know what to make of it? Call Ometaf Couture today on +234 813 852 8588. We specialize in imaginative and creative ideas as well as knowledge of current fashion trends. We make and design for all age and gender. Call us today, you'll be glad you did. Thank you.
Well, still life in the building with me is the youngest councillor, with London Borough of Barking and Dagenham. Councillor. I've also been told to add honourable to that. I've been told to add the honourable as well to the name. But once again, live in the studio with me is a special one that I cannot say more than a big thank you, for making it down into the studio as well. There's one thing that comes to my mind, when I was looking at the, the May 3rd, local government election. I know some particular borough was very, very tense, especially with Brent, but you at Barking and Dagenham were able to retain, Labour back, in that constituency. One thing is your peer groups. How have they been able to, see you, with going, being in the politics? I'm sure politics takes a lot of our time as well. Even as a media, it takes a lot of time, not to talk of the politics as well. But one thing is your close friends. How have they been able to, your social life, in a way?
Well, I must say I'm thankful to God for having amazing friends. Just to mention my best friend, my closest friend, her name's Kumi. She's someone who I must have to mention with this whole campaigning has literally stood beside me the whole way through. I have a lot of friends who've also really pushed me because they know my passion and they know my drive. They've literally pushed me all the way. With regards to my social life now, because I've just got into council, it's all new to me, I've got inductions going on, I haven't really, I'd say, had that much of a social life. But in life, you have to sacrifice to get where you want to go to. And having understanding friends who know that, like there are times when I have council meetings that end at 9 o'clock and I check my phone and I've got missed calls, but I'm tired. But at the same time, because they're understanding and they know that Princess really wants to get here from A to B, there's going to have to be work that has to be put in. Like even before I came onto the show today, two of my close friends messaged me, "Princess, I won't be able to watch this, but I'm so proud of you. Keep going." They're really pushing me to really aim and achieve what I want to get. So I would say my friends have been very supportive. I've not lost any friends during this whole campaigning. In fact, they've been more supportive than ever. And it's only through God that I have amazing friends beside me, because I know it's easy for friends to lose sight of the vision that you have. But luckily, my friends have been able to align with my vision and have been able to work beside me, and we've been able to do this together. I've had many of my friends out campaigning with me on the run up to the elections. So it's not just about Princess, it's about Princess working collaboratively. There's also another young lady in Havering, another 22-year-old who won her election as well.
To be honest, I wanted the two of you to be live in the studio.
Yeah, she couldn't make it.
But she sent to me, she was having a training.
Yes.
And we're going to have her, at one point as well. Councillor, I think, because, we Africans, we just love this title thing, but, to be honest, you've been able to motivate a lot of youth out there. Looking at, the issues with, with gun crime, knife crime, we've lost, in reality, we've lost quite a lot of youths, in 2018. And it's good to bring, the best of those that are doing great things within the community, and you are just one. So, for the youth that are watching you, and again, thank you very much, to all my family that are watching, both in United Kingdom and the one in Nigeria as well. My son is actually watching you. He's 11 years old, and I'm sure he's thinking, wow, the youth, you are still a youth as well.
Yes, I am.
You're only 22. and you're doing an amazing thing, to also support the same youth that is being bashed left and right, by the media. What is your take on that?
With regards to what's happening in society right now, I believe that it's all to do with social constructs. So what's happening with gun and knife crime, the increase in gun and knife crime, it's because of what people are seeing in the media, what young people are seeing in the media. It's like they're idolizing killings and stabbings, which isn't right. But when they see young people who are taking up rightful positions, seen to be doing well, seen to be known as role models, it will change their mindset. It's all a mindset thing. I don't think someone would wake up one day and say, oh, I'm just going to go and stab someone. No, it's if they don't see the right role models around them, if they don't have the right youth clubs around them, if they don't have the right investment into youth facilities around them, then they'll get bored and they'll end up deviating and going down the stream of things that shouldn't take place. And that's why I say that young people really need to be able to voice out their opinions in the right ways, so that the decisions that are taking place that affect the young people, they can be part of it. But if they're not involved in the decision making processes, they'll feel like it's hostile, that the government is hostile towards them, that stopping and searching them, it's all hostile towards them, and it will create an atmosphere of hostility towards the government and towards one another. Postcode crime, gun and knife crime, these are things that shouldn't really be taking place in our society today. And it's sad because lives are being lost. Like, people are really losing their lives to these tragic things that are happening on the streets. And I think that they need to see more role models taking up rightful positions, seeing what can be done, and being able to have paths paved for them so that they can really start doing the right things, instead of having too much time on their hands to start doing negative things. So I say to young people out there, if you're passionate about something, keep going for it. If you need to find mentors, if you need to read up about it, do so. Go to your local council, find out what youth groups are in your local area, join youth groups, join youth fellowships. In our Barking and Dagenham, we've got a new youth fellowship group called Essex Rise, which I've just started going to. Their mission is to change young people, take them off the streets and transform their lives, and they're doing a fantastic job. So if we have more of these kind of youth groups in our local areas, then young guys will be able to have their lives changed. But if they don't have these facilities, then they'll be bored, because the education system won't appeal to them. It won't appeal to them anymore. So there needs to be other means for them to be able to exert their energy so that they're doing things positively. If not, the media will keep bringing up stories, will keep labeling them. And if they label them, it doesn't really give them the right thinking, and it'll make them to keep doing the things that we don't really want on our streets.
Wow. Well, we'll continue to take some of the comments as well. We've got, Alima that have said, confident speaker. Again, you still have, humanist, continue to really say God bless and continue to bless you, princess. We also, he's also saying, wisdom untold by my Lord, this sister is so wise. Also, we've got Kwame saying, well done, sister. And we also got Adisa saying, well done. Keep the comment coming. If you want to also send a question, you could also put that, and we'll be able to put that through to, the Honorable Councillor, Princess Elizabeth Bright. So as you're settling in, because it's still under a month.
Yes, all new to me. It's only been 2 weeks.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yes, but I'm enjoying it, every bit of it, from the council meetings to the inductions. Even before coming here, I had a seminar on public speaking. I loved it. It was amazing. I'm loving it so far.
Okay. Just hold on your thought there. We're going on a short commercial break. When we come back, we will continue to find out from this. She's still got another 15 more minutes with me, and I really want to take as many things as from her, because it's once in a lifetime as well that you tend to interview a young councillor, very vibrant. You know what you're looking for, and you're already on that journey. And I could see not an MP in you, but I could see the next Prime Minister
Amen.
of United Kingdom.
Amen.
And
I
that
receive
would
it.
definitely happen
Amen.
in my lifetime as well.
Amen.
We're also going to see, some of the impact that you could replicate, from your understanding to, Nigeria as well, in terms of, getting the youth into politics. We know in United Kingdom, there's a lot of, education structure. But we will touch on that, just under, a few minutes as well. But before we do that, let's take one more Let's take a commercial break, and then we'll be able to come back and look at, this amazing, I say amazing young girl that is doing great things, not just for the BME community, but also, to the humanity itself. Let's take this short commercial break.
Want to look glamorous for that special occasion? Call Abiono Touch of Paradise Creation on +234 909 380 2355. You can also reach us on our email abionus.topcreation@gmail.com. We specialize in all kinds of makeup and makeover. You can also reach us on our social media platform at ABIONUSTOPC on Twitter, ABIONUSCREATIONS on Instagram. Thank you.
As we continue with this live, interview with one and only Councillor Princess Elizabeth Bright, I would like to say thank you for being the guest of Niger Voices on Star Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. Once again,
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, that's it, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station. Princess, Councillor, I gotta remember that. I know there's still a lot of work ahead of you in terms of, but the most important thing is, with the way the structure is, you will get all the, like you said, you've done field training. I'm also going on a training at the moment with the council, and I could see, the impact, the council, does when it comes to putting that training in there, because you're going to be serving a whole community, and, that is very, very important. What are your expectations in terms of, as the days? It's only 2 weeks, but you still got how many months?
It's 4-year office.
4 years.
Yes, indeed.
So you're gonna make a lot of impact, within this beautiful journey that you've just started. But what are your other expectations? As 2 weeks is already gone through.
In terms of my expectations, I'm literally just taking each day as it comes, just because I know the task ahead of me is definitely a big one, but I'm definitely up for it. So with regards to next week, we have our first full council meeting, and I've had to put down the committees that I'd like to join in, where I'll be able to actually have voice in terms of the decision making process. So I've put myself down for the audit and standards committee, where we'll be looking at from the audit perspective. Now, because of my background in accountancy, which I mentioned, it's fantastic the fact that I'm able to bring my degrees and my skills, what I've learned in university, onto the council to make a difference. And that's one thing that I think is important and fantastic, because currently now I'm not in employment. It's an obstacle that I was actually meant to mention. Back in December, I actually resigned from my graduate job. So I graduated last summer with first class honours in accounting and finance, had a fantastic graduate job waiting for me, which I started. But then in December, I had some conflict of interest with the HR director and the company I was working at, and I had to make the decision between stepping down as a councillor candidate or going along with the contract of employment. Now, me being so passionate about local politics and making a difference, I decided to resign from that graduate role and continue pursuing my passion, and of course I've become elected. So why I'm so happy is the fact that even though I haven't been in my field of expertise, which is accounting and finance, I'm able to bring that background into my role as a councillor and be able to be involved in the decision making process from that perspective. So not all the skills that I learned in my degree is lost at all, because I can always use it and be able to make a difference. And having the skills of being able to know things from a financial perspective does help, does make the difference, and does add credibility, which I believe I will be able to use going forward in my 4 years as a councillor, because it's not just about representing Eastbrook Ward, it's about having a voice on the council itself. Being the youngest councillor in there with 51 councillors, who are so much more older than I am, being a voice for the voiceless, not just representing Eastbrook Ward as I mentioned, but being a voice for the young people. So if there are any youth clubs or youth communities that young people approach me and want want there to be opened or want more youth spaces, I will be that voice on the council. I will bring that forth to the cabinet members, to the leaders, to the fellow councillors to make these things happen. So it's not just about being there to serve Eastbrook. Yes, they're my heart, my residents in Eastbrook. I love them and they know that because they've trusted in me to represent them. But also bringing forth my skills and expertise from my degree background onto the council, representing the young people on the council. That's my aim. And that's what I expect from my 4 years, to grow, to continue to grow. My skills and expertise cannot stay the same. By next year and the year after, I wanted to be chair of some boards, be deputy chair, being able to increase my political participation so that I'm seen more as a voice on the council representing the few.
Wow. I've also got Eric. Eric is a very close friend, and he's watching all the way from United States of America. He's an engineer. He's saying well done to you as well. In just under 9 minutes that we've got left with you, Princess, in as much as I could have you here for the whole day, but I know you got to, after a very long day, we've got to release you at one point. Your message to anyone out there now, I just want you to reflect and, pass a message, to the youth out there, and not just the youth alone, to anyone that is listening to you. You've started this journey. Let's remember, this is a journey, your journey into politics. You did mention something while I was at the council. They were talking about the apprentice, where you could be able to work in the council and then you could be able to get up to postgraduate. But you have already got a first-class honor in accounting and finance. So Barking and Dagenham should be glad to have you.
Indeed. Yes.
Wow. And you're going to be using all these skills, to help, the council. But the message is to those that will be watching this right now and those that will be watching this, in months and years to come. What will be the message, you're passing to them now? Because if you, at the age of 15 up to now that you're 22, the first youngest, councillor with Barking and Dagenham, what will be that message?
My message to anyone that's listening to this, irregardless of your age, irregardless of your background, I will say to you is find your calling in life. So like I said, from a young period of age, my parents and I saw that I was able to have the leadership qualities that's needed to work with people and lead people. So I knew this from young, therefore I was able to put all my energy into that. If you don't know your calling in life, if you don't know your purpose in life, you will end up beating around the bush, doing things that are not going to end up leading to you fulfilling destiny. And that's one thing that's key. In life, everyone's journey is different. No one his journey is the same. So me becoming a councillor at 22 won't be the same for my sister, won't be the same for my brother. We all have different journeys. But if you're able to understand what you're called to do on this earth, you will fulfill destiny and you will make sure that you work so hard to get that, irregardless of the obstacles. Because as I've mentioned, you will come across obstacles. No one will have a smooth journey if they're going to be successful. And that's one thing I want to make sure, that you shouldn't give up, because obstacles will come. But if you easily give up, if you easily fall in to the obstacles that come, you won't end up achieving. Imagine myself with the obstacle that I came across with my contract of employment. I could have said to myself, oh, I'm earning really good salary here. I'm in a fantastic job. I've graduated with first class honours. How dare this company say I have to leave? I could have ended up staying there and missing out on becoming a councillor. But I knew what I wanted and I was passionate and I made it clear so that I had the support of my family. I had the support of my constituency. I had the support of my borough in making sure that my dream became a reality. So one message I will say to you is find your calling and make sure you work towards it. Don't let anyone tell you you can't achieve, because that's one thing. You need to be able to believe in yourself. You'll have people who doubt you. Of course, I've come across people who have doubted me because of my age. Oh, this girl's young, or doubted me saying, oh, it's her mother. Her mother's the one who's pushing her into it. But I've proved them wrong. So if you can continue to prove people wrong, once you know your calling and you have that goal for yourself. I'm one person who likes to write down my goals. Short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. My short-term goals, long-term goals, medium goals. When I write them down, I make sure that I'm working towards them. It won't be easy. Sometimes it will take 2 years. Sometimes it will take 3 months. But as long as I have them written down, I can keep reflecting back on it and seeing where I'm going wrong, what I'm doing well, and be able to continue moving. It's all about a progressive momentum. You will get there one day. So make sure you find your calling. It's important. And be passionate about what you're doing. Because if you're not passionate, you will not put 100% into it. And if you're going to not put 100% into it, what's the point? It's like you're just working for the sake of it. I'm so passionate about serving people. I'm so passionate about speaking on behalf of the voiceless. And that's why in my political career, I'm doing so well. If I wasn't passionate about it, then I'm sure I would have stayed at my fantastic accountancy job that I had there, which most young people would do, because you've come out of university, you're in so much debt, you've got a fantastic job. Who would want to leave a fantastic paid job to serve as a candidate, not knowing if you're even going to win? But I knew what my passion was from young, and it's just stayed within me, and God has kept me going throughout this journey. And I'm telling you now, this is just the beginning. With God by your side, knowing your purpose, knowing your calling, and continually to ignore the obstacles. People will talk. You will have people talk, but you need to ignore the voices around you. Stay steadfast on a narrow path, and you'll reach your destination one day.
Wow. Let's take more few comments in about 3 minutes. Councillor will be leaving the building. But once again, on behalf of the Star Radio UK management, would like to say big thank you for coming down, to Star Radio UK.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, once again, we're still live in the building. We've got someone, Destiny, watching all the way from Italy. We've got Kwame from Zurich. I hope Zurich and Italy has got the same young, vibrant, Africans that are doing very well as well. We also got Kwame saying, full of wisdom and peak of maturity, speaks like an old sag. Thank you very much as well. Also, Destiny saying, nice talk. Just before, I let you, leave, the studio, this is the time now to pass a message, to your loved ones, your friends, your other 50 councillors in Barking and Dagenham, and saying on behalf of Star Radio UK, we are sending our love to them, and we will work closely. Star Radio has also been working very, very close with not just the African community precisely, but the whole of the country generally. On Saturday, we're going to be attending as well, myself, covering Community Against Youth, Knife and Gun Crime, which you've been able to touch on, this Saturday. So we are there, just make sure, whenever you need us, you've got the phone call to call into the studio. But like I say, a message to, your loved ones, your fans, and those that went out May the 3rd, 2018, and made it possible for us to bring you live into the studio.
I'd love to first of all thank all my Eastbrook residents who stepped out of their house to vote for me and trusted me irregardless of my age. And I'm saying that I will make sure I will work so hard to make sure Eastbrook is the ward that I sought after. And to my parents, my mother and my father, my brother and my sister, the Labour councillors in Barking and Dagenham, all my close friends, everyone who supported me on this journey so far, I'm so thankful. And I'm going to work hard to make sure I prove myself, because I know the task ahead will be hard. And of course, thanks to God, because without him, I would not be here today. Without him, I would not be fulfilling destiny. So all glory goes to him.
Wow. Well, as we let the youngest councillor exit the building, we will take a short commercial break, but we'll be back soon. Make sure you stay tuned, because we still have so much in the second segment of this show, where we'll be able to bring in one person that will ring the studio in about a few minutes. But while we're letting, my councillor, thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
And we will let you exit the building, but just sit down there. And once again, make sure you stay tuned, because we still have more coming your way. Once again, as usual, this is Star Radio
Online,
UK.
on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
don't you worry. I don't wanna wait for nobody. I just wanna dance with you, mommy. I put my hands on your body. Don't be shy, don't you worry. Too much juice, too much sauce. Too much sauce, too much juice. Too much juice, too much sauce. Too much sauce, too much juice. Too much juice, too much sauce. Too much sauce, too much juice. Too much juice, too much sauce. Too much sauce, too much juice. Mama want none dada. Me you no bring no wahala. Other girls so they don't even matter. Cause when you come through you know there's nobody better. Number one lover. I'm a Tio, kinda what you need. Something like saying Ariana, baby girl, come through. Got girls online, but they holler now, say they won't blue. But I did turn them down, cause now you, girl, me, I want you. Baby, give me chance, don't be this time, baby, come through. Oh yeah, baby, come through. This your way, like in this your way, this your way. No replay, oh yeah, why buy me, big girl? This your way, like in this your way, this your way. No replay, oh yeah, why buy me, big girl? I wanna wait for
Online, on mobile, Suwon DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African radio station.
Yes. We're still back live in the studio. Once again, thank you very much to everyone that have joined. That very beautiful interview we had with the Councillor Princess Elizabeth Bright. Once again, we will continue to engage with what is happening within the community, where we can have more people to speak when we bring them to you. We're still also going to bring the youngest as well. We still have one more, Ramotalawa. Ramotalawa was meant to be in the building as well, with Princess Elizabeth Bright, but I can confirm that Ramota will be back in the studio with us as well very, very soon. Once again, I would like to say on behalf of Star Radio UK, thank you to Councillor Elizabeth Bright for joining us on Niger Voices. Now we're gonna be having a call from Osaho in about a few minutes or so, that is gonna talk to us about youth leadership. That is also very, very important. But once more, you're still tuning to Niger Voices. On Friday last week, it was amazing. We had Omoyele Showore live inside the studio. There was quite a lot. Let us go straight to the call coming through. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. You were meant to be in the studio as well, but for one reason or the other, we couldn't get you into the studio. But at least, with the technology that we have, you're still live, with us right now.
That's right.
To the benefit of my listeners that are listening to us from all over the world, if you just want to tell them your name, and then we're going to be looking at the youth leadership. That is what, for the next 20 minutes, you're going to be discussing with myself, so that we can look at, we have a young girl, that I've just left the building, 22 years old, and you're now going to talk about youth leadership. So what is the name, for the benefit of those that are listening to us right now.
Yeah, my name is Humanist Osaho Idemudia. And I'm here in London. I was supposed to be on site with you today in studio, but just we couldn't make it. And it's actually a tough one to speak after a very, very brilliant session with Princess. You know, so and you can see when she was talking, the only thing I can just see was what I was discussing about last time about the mindset, the difference between the mindset of the African youth and the youth that grew up here. You know, me personally, I grew up in Nigeria, but I see that our parents, we are somehow caged in our way of thinking. We are not allowed to use our potential. You see what she said? I took a key word from what she said, that, you know, she left her graduate job and she went for it. You see?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes something happened to us, but the African, we would think maybe it's a redirection, but we can think it's a rejection, which a redirection is supposed to take it to the next level. You know, but she took it upon her to go for it. That's what she does. You know, we need to start teaching our kids, you know, where we came from. Our kids have, you know, solutions, you know, how to solve things, you know, like, you know, solution solving issues, and the ability to think about what's next to them, you know, and let them be free. You know, when I was growing up, I was very good in basketball. Let me give you an example. You know, and I used to play basketball, but my mom was like, "I want you to be a barrister." You know, but that was not my calling. You know, you know, but you know, our parents keep on putting this pressure on us, on not allowing us to free, because your mom wants you to do what they think is the best for you. It's good to take their advice, but what I'm trying to say now is that allowing your kids to think free. Let them be free. I have a son, he's 5 years old. He's a model. He plays piano, he plays football, he plays basketball. I will ask him, what do you like? Everything he likes, I let him do it. I can guide him, I'll guide him, but I don't pick and choose for him.
Wow.
You know, I just guide him through the path he is going through. What he enjoys best is what I allow him to do. That's where the leadership qualities of Princess, like she was saying, you know, because she had support from her parents. From an early age, you know, she's been nurtured, you know, on this leadership aspect, you know, is, you know, the way you want your kids to grow. If you start from the beginning, if you start from the foundation, that's how it will be. She will always be great.
So let me ask you, you know, Osamedo, thank you very much for joining as well. I want us to look at, you know, what I want you to the comparison is, we've just had someone that has spoken eloquently. She's a councillor. She's 22. Can we have the same in Nigeria?
That will be difficult. That will be difficult. First, you see, look at it. Let me give you one example. You see, like Princess, there were some people who she was competing with, who she would be, some aspirant who was a councillor back in Dagenham, and same in a different party. You know, she would just go there and greet them and say, "Hey, hello, Angela, hello, David." You know, but in Nigeria, they want you to pursue. It's good to respect your elders, but I'm on the opinion that when it comes to politics, you know, we should leave that respect your elder thing out of it. You know, because that fear will be there to even compete against your somebody that's old enough to be your dad. They'll say don't you have respect? You know, I mean, respect your elders. You know, so these are things which in a way is good, but it's a barrier to our youth, to our kids, to even challenge, to even go for it. They will say, "How old are you? You are too small for that." You know,
and this is a 22-year-old girl, you know, that went for it, and you know, she didn't have to go through any kind of you know, a baba that says, you know, you must be the next councillor in that borough.
Exactly. They say, no, you are not even allowed to. You can't even say that's the mindset we need to change. We need to change that mindset that, you know, that start teaching our kids leadership. that yes, you are a leader. It's just like my son, I tell him you are a leader. You know, to give them that let them have that self-esteem that they can be a leader. They can do it. But once you start caging them all, kids will start getting scared, even to tell you what they really want, because they don't want daddy to shout or mommy to shout for them. You see, that's the difference between the kids we have there and the kids we have here. You see, the kids we have here, they want to go for it. They want to experience it. But there, everything must go through until daddy and mommy approves it, which is good in one sense, but it's become a barrier. A barrier in that part of the world. That's why you see in our own country. I'm from Nigeria. We have people that have been ruling us for years. Instead of giving a position or an office to a young, vibrant person who can really handle it, they will give it to an old man who they think has experience. But they forgot that this old man that you are giving this office to run, he's not even technology survey. He doesn't know. You can't be using a Stone Age mindset to rule a New Age people. You have a mindset of old mindset.
So are we going to say, is apart from the mindset, do we need to encourage more people?
Exactly. Exactly.
I want you to give some of the solution, to some of these youth leadership, because it looks like we are lacking, a lot of youth leadership in Nigeria, and that is the reason why people find it difficult. Or is it just that we know there's, the youth can do it, but the elderly are not given the room, because we've always been saying, the youth shall grow, but the youth are also not given the opportunity.
Yeah, but when they tell us the young shall grow, that we are the leaders of tomorrow, they need to, it has to start from the foundation. Like yesterday I was discussing something with my wife. I said, babe, in all boroughs in London, they all have libraries. But how many libraries do we have in Nigeria? Let's just say from library and from that. Are we reading enough? Are we reading enough? The things that will give them knowledge, that they can go for it. That something. When you read, you are more informed. You see, isn't they're just caging them. But my advice for the youth is that we have to show them that we can. We have to prove them wrong. By going for it. Following your heart and just going for it. That is one thing I want us to do, and we need to be united. Because you just see some youth fighting youth is based on maybe an association that they have been affiliated with, or a peer group that they have been affiliated with. There's this division among us.
Wow.
Youth of Africa. So we have to abolish and let us know that with unity. When we are united, we can always win together. Teamwork makes the dream work. We have to take that barrier of disunity because of I'm affiliated with one group or association or movement or whatever from the university or whatever. We have to leave that one out of when we're talking about leadership.
Well,
each one teach one, each one reach one.
Wow. As we are approaching the 2019 election in Nigeria, we know there's a lot that is already ongoing. There's a lot of youth that are planning to come out as well. We are just 275 days, 12 hours, 45 minutes, 6 seconds to the next general election. Your message to the youths or those, because she has been able to mobilize her friends, going into, she started, remember, from age 15, being the young mayor at age 15, and we still have, some youth in their 20-something. She's also 22, but we still have some youth right now that are thinking, well, as the next election is coming in Nigeria, I don't think I'm going to get involved.
You see? Yeah. That my message to us is that everybody, we should all go for it. We shouldn't let anything, because I see the not too young to run bill that they just passed. I don't see it as an age thing. I'm one of the people who see leadership as a mindset thing. You see, when we're talking about age, if we want to talk about age, Angela Merkel, the German Councillor, she's 63. Theresa May is like 61. These are not young people, but they are leading brilliantly. You know, in Africa, we need to start giving women and young who can do the job, let him go. Not because my mom is a millionaire or because my dad has connection, who can do the job. Not because we are in the same group, we are in the same movement. That's why you see me. I promote every young leader, every young aspirant that is coming. I've been promoting them, sharing their messages. You know, I'm not buying into one. I want us to be united. To take the mantle of leadership from these old cabals. Until we are united, we will keep on running in circles on sharing votes on these people because they know how to do it. You know, they are the old cats in the bag, you see. So we need to be united and fight these people with one unity and let them know we can do it. We can do it.
Wow. It is very, very amazing to have you, speaking live for us. Before you go, your final word, to the youth and also to a lot of people that are thinking, I might not be able to do it, but I'm sure looking at, Councillor Princess Bright, Elizabeth Bright, I'm sure a lot of people will start thinking otherwise. What will be your own message?
Yeah. My own message is that, never underestimate yourself. They say you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. Because if you don't try it, you won't know if you will get there. You have to try it first, you see. That's why, no matter how you are, in Africa, we need to start building industries. Let's stop building churches and mosques for now, please. We need to start building industries, research centers, libraries, where our children can go out and go and read and gain knowledge and think. That's it. The sky is our limit. If you just try it. If you don't cast the net, you won't know there will be fishes in the river until you cast that net. So you go for it. Never underestimate yourself.
Wow. Never underestimate yourself. Thank you very much, for that call. We really appreciate your time this evening, and I'm sure we will still have you in the studio, very soon, so that we can go through some of these discussions. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Well, if you want to call the studio as well, the studio line is 0208 133 2257. If you've got anything that you want to add, to this, conversation on Star Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. Once again, as usual, my name is
Mobile Swan DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, there's a lot of activities happening this weekend. Also, is the royal wedding. Yes, is the royal wedding happening this weekend. And I'm sure, the media out there, more focused on what is going to be happening over the weekend. We wish them, a very marriage life. But the most important thing is, for the last, a week or so, I've also been engaging myself with the local council in Enfield, where we've been going through, the parent engagement panel is a training for the next 5 weeks. You must get involved. Politics affects, not just you alone. It also affects those around you, and that is the reason why you cannot afford to sit behind, and not get involved. Whether you're in Canada, in America, or those of you in Nigeria as well, as we know, 275 days, to the next general election. If you want to be part of this program tonight, you could call the studio on 0208 133 2257. And if you're calling and you want to call through, the WhatsApp call is +44 7594 050 979, and we could take in your contribution or comment as well. Once again, it's an amazing time to have, Councillor Princess Elizabeth Bright, in the building. We might be able to bring in Ramota Lawal. She's also, a young councillor. We'll be able to bring her in as well. There's a lot of activities happening over the weekend, apart from, the royal wedding, which I've just mentioned not too long ago. We also have, the youth and gun crime event that is taking place, this weekend. Community against youth knife and gun gang violence. This is happening Dartford Lounge, number 9 Griffin Street, London, SE 84RU. The event kicks off at 12 p.m. and ends at 3 p.m. This has been organized, by the gsfoundation.org.uk, where you'll be able to find out more information. Also, there's another event coming up that I'm aware of, which I got a call from today. There's a lot of event coming, with the youth crime that is happening in United Kingdom. We've lost a lot of youth, in the space of a very, very short time, and it's quite a very, very sad one. Knowing that some of these youth can be of useful and benefit not just to themselves alone, but to also the community that they serve. So that other event which I'm aware of is taking place on the 29th of June. More details of that I will also be giving that to you. Also, if you want to sponsor or put advert on this particular program, you could contact on 0208 133 2257, and they will be able to have your goods or services advertised on Star Radio UK. Once again,
Swan DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Welcome.
Well, that is it. Welcome again. It is still, the 16th of May, 2018. The time is exactly 20:22 p.m. I'm still waiting for a signal because I still have two important guests that wants to join the program. Two is from Nigeria and one is right here in United Kingdom. But as soon as I have a signal, I will definitely keep you up to date with that. Also, some of the other activities that I've been looking at while I was at the training, I thought I would mention some of those things that very, very key and important. I was looking at safeguarding. This is the training that we had today. Safeguarding adult from abuse in Enfield. Not just Enfield alone. We know a lot of adults are being abused. Whether in United Kingdom or in Nigeria. We know Nigeria is struggling to have a lot of system in place to keep the minor, the elderly in check and balance. So I will give you some of those statistics, but if you're living in the London Borough of Enfield and you think there's any child or an adult that is that needs or being abused, it is very, very important that you reach out to the council as quickly as possible so that measures can be put in place. It is sad that also we know the domestic violence. Domestic violence is another one of the biggest problem, not only in United Kingdom but also in Nigeria. And we've seen so many cases where women, we know men have been affected as well, but in reality the statistics says there will always be one in 5 of all mothers in United Kingdom and especially in London. Domestic violence account for nearly 1 in 5 of all the mothers murder cases in London. And this is a crime that cut across community. It's not just one particular community that gets affected with the domestic violence. It doesn't matter whether it's an African or it's also from the Caribbean or the Asian. It's just cut across the whole community. And the overall in the UK, more than 1 in 4 women will also experience domestic abuse in their lifetime. And also on average, it's sad to say this, but that is the reality, that 2 women are killed a week in United Kingdom. Very, very pathetic to say, but that is and most of these happen from either the ex-partner or the partner, that these women are in relationship with. So domestic violence is real, and it is very, very important that if you at any point of time notice that there's a kind of domestic violence in any home, it is also very, very important that you do mention this to the council. These are part of the training that we had today at the council. Very, very informative, very, very, and I'm sure for those of you that have been watching the timeline on my Facebook page, where I've been posting a lot of some of the flyers and information that was shared at this beautiful event that is still ongoing. We start back again next week. Also, the disabled, the disabled are also being abused, and it's so sad that humanity has been put into the dustbin. People hardly care. While I was coming into the studio this evening, I was waiting for the bus, and there was this young girl also at the bus stop, but I could not even see who she was with. And there was another woman that was saying to me whether she was with me, and I said no, she's not with me. And we were trying to look out where the parent, this was at the bus stop, where it's a very, very busy bus stop, and we realized that the parent was just very busy on a mobile phone. So at the end of the day, negligence as well is very, very important. That young girl could have got on the bus, somebody could have just taken her right there, because it was a very, very busy bus stop. Once again, you're still listening to Star Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. It's Niger Voices. If you've just joined us for the first time, we live every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. where we bring different, guests, different individuals. We will be speaking to so many people between now and the end of the year. We're almost fully booked. But if you also have something that is coming up, or something that you want us to be part of, you can also reach out to us, and we will make sure we can squeeze the time. 2 weeks last week we also have the Abeokuta Grammar School. They're going to be having their big 110-year anniversary. We spoke with the national global president in Lagos. We also had the president that we spoke to right here, the UK president, and we had two members of the old student that were also in the building with me last week Wednesday. But if you're also watching us from Friday morning, we had a very beautiful panel with Mr. Prince Eze Inayacho and Mr. Emeka Anyahu, before we had Omoyele Showore in the building on Friday. It was a very, very very busy Friday morning, and I'm sure a lot of people will start deciding what 2019 will look like.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, once again, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station. Once again, the phone line is still open on 0208 133 2257. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, still live, right here in the studio. Let's take a short break, and we'll be back very soon. Yes. We're back again. Still live in the studio. Thank you very much. Councillor for Lashade Bright. We just had, your beautiful daughter in the studio with us. She's left now, but I'm sure you'll be able to, I don't know whether you were watching live when she was in the studio with me, but if you've missed that, you'll be able to listen to that replay after the end of this show, which is about another half an hour away. Thank you very much, Agzoba, Sheyi, and Need, for joining as well. And those of you that have joined us on Facebook, continue to click on the share button. It's every Wednesday, Niger Voices, one and only on
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, we're still live at the building right here at Star Radio UK. The gentleman that I was going to be speaking with in Lagos, I've just told me he's on transit, and I won't be able to reach out to him anymore today. But next week, we will be bringing him back as usual, where he will be able to, tell us, more about 2019. 2019 is getting closer and closer, and it is very, very important that we continue to bring the best. We're still, speaking with a couple of presidential aspirants, where we'll be bringing them on Star Radio UK. We're speaking with Atiku. Atiku is also interested to be the next president of Nigeria. We're also been in touch with the president himself. The president have announced on the APC that he will be recontesting come 2019. We also have Alesta Shoyode that declared, to be the next president. So we've already got in touch with all the presidential aspirants. We had Omoyele Sowore, on Friday last week in the building, where, he told us, what he's going to be doing when he becomes the next president of Nigeria. But once again, we've reached out to all the presidential aspirants and also some of the governors aspirants as well. But as soon as we have confirmation that they will be coming or they will be speaking to us, we will let you, our listener, know as quickly as possible so that you'll be able to join, because it might not be sometimes on a Wednesday, depending. If you remember, we had a special broadcast for Omoyele Sowore on Friday, and we will have the same with all the presidential aspirants that is going to be contesting for 2019. The most important thing is 275 days away to the next election, and you must just get involved. You must be part of the the politics, because politics shapes our lives. Politics have a lot of impact to what we do. And on Saturday, it was an amazing turnout at the University of East London, where Omoyele Sowore had his first ever UK town hall meeting in London. It was a complete packed event, and I'll be able to play a little bit from what took place on Saturday. We will listen to just a little bit from what happened on Saturday, and you could be able to get the feelings. Over 400 people were in the building on Saturday, completely packed. We would look at some of the questions and answer section. It's quite a lengthy video, but what I want us to look at is the Q&A that took place during that town hall meeting, and you'll be able to hear, because we couldn't on Friday. We had over 300 calls coming into the studio, and it was just too much to be able to pick up all the calls. But I'm sure we'll be able to look at the other questions and answers that took place during the town hall meeting, and then you'll be able to listen maybe for the next 10 minutes what took place on Saturday. Saturday was a very, very busy one for the team that were working behind in bringing Omoyele Sowore. He was also at the BBC studio just immediately after he left the Star Radio UK on Friday. Very, very interesting time ahead. We know there's also an event coming up with the APC Congress in Lagos, around Ikeja. So traffic will be very, very heavy. So if you're going to be moving around any part of Ikeja this weekend, make sure you plan as well. You will notice that I've just put on my muffler, proud to be Nigeria anytime, any day. These were sent to me, from a very special person all the way from Nigeria. And as you can see, it tells you that we are just getting ready for the football. Football is coming very soon. I'm sure you can see that very well. The Eagles, Nigeria, where we're going to be, I'm going to be sharing up the Nigerians when they get to the Russia for 2018. Let's take the next, if you want to call in, the studio line is still open, but for the next 10 minutes, we're going to listen together with some of the Q&A at the town hall where Omoyele Sowore had his first UK town hall meeting. Very busy, packed, but let us just listen to some of those questions that were being asked, by the audience in the room at the auditorium at University of East London.
If you have your questions, you can put them in writing, and thank you very much for those who have sent their questions. We'll read them out. Yeah, number 7 and 8 here. There was a guy who was wearing a black. Sorry. Who was given a number there? Do they have any number in there? Check. Okay, take two only, please. Okay, take 2. Has he got a number? Okay, please. 30 seconds.
Hi, Mr. Moyele. My name is Olayomi. My question goes thus. What are you going to do? Because I'm so much particular about the database in Nigeria. We need to know how many people we are living in Nigeria so that anything that's going to be disseminated to everyone have to be disseminated well. What are you going to be doing in collating the database of every Nigerian so that everything could be right and accurate?
Thank you very much. And then the last person at that side of the wall. Please. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sowore. My name is Adeswale. I just want to ask a question. My name is Adeswale. Okay. Are you taking Nigerians for granted? And if you are not, why haven't you apologized to Nigerians like others who brought this catastrophic, deceitful, clueless, and corrupt?
If you're still watching, we're taking some of the Q&A at the just concluded the London Town Hall meeting with Omoyele Sowore. We're going to listen now to some of the response he was giving to the question that was put to him at that event on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's all. 4 questions there. The fifth one. Hold on, please. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, just hold on. We're going to go back to the second stage of questions. Just hold on. The 5th one is just a comment. I'll read this and I can show it to answer our questions. He says, we have to get people to translate all the agenda and manifesto of Omoyele Sowore in all the languages of Nigeria so that our grassroots people must be acquainted with the Take It Back agenda. Thank you. That's a comment for you.
Thank you. I will start by addressing the issue of youth employment. But before then, since the NYC, that is the National Youth Service Corps, as you mentioned, I should say that we also have plans to increase the allowances from whatever it is now to 50,000 naira per month, and also plans to put in place an insurance policy that if anything bad befalls a youth worker, that their parents will be paid 10 million naira as compensation. And we know this because of what happens some of them a few years ago. In terms of employment, we have said in our one of the things we're doing right away is to hire 200 teachers, 200,000 teachers, train them for 6 months to tackle our education sector. And my understanding is that the NYC turns out about 300,000 corpus every year. So we are absorbing right away on an annual basis about 200,000 of those people to do teaching. We have plans to hire 160,000 primary health care workers across Nigeria. Reason is simple. Most people in Nigeria die never even checking their blood pressure. That's the truth. And without primary health care, we would not be able to lift Nigeria out of a situation where this Nigerian state has lived longer than most of the people that were born when it had independence. The average life expectancy of the Nigerian person is around 53. Nigeria is 58. So if you were born in 1960, you are supposed to have died. That is very sad. Yeah.
Well, that is part of the Q&A. You can watch that live on YouTube at the moment on Olayomi Koiki, or you can also type in our Shure Town Hall meeting. How many of you have listened to K1 about the music that he has done for the President Muhammad Buhari? I'm sure a lot of you have listened to that, and there's been a lot of reaction to that as well. What is your take on that? The musician, the artist have his right to support whoever he wants to back for 2019, but the campaign have just kicked off, and we know it's 275 days away to the next election. We've seen also visiting the president today. President Buhari received APC gubernatorial candidate in Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, in the State House, where he is going to be contesting for the governorship election in Ekiti. And according to him on Sunday when he was speaking, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, that he will also be resigning his position as the Minister for Mineral as well. So we just hope, there's a lot of activities happening around the election. But the most important thing is, have you listened to that music? Let us listen to it. And then if you want to contribute to this part as well, we still got about 15 more minutes before the end of the show. The contact number again is 0208 133 2257.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, let us listen to that audio that K1, the Ultimate, a lot of you knows him, very popular artist. Let us listen to him with the music that has been going airwaves on the social media, about what he thinks the present government should be contesting or should win as well for 2019. We'll play that, and then when I come back, you might want to say or had a comment to this particular audio. There's been a lot of comments. Different people have said so many things. But what will you say to this music as we play it right now? Audience that are not Yoruba speaking, bear with us. It's just to get the message. Whether as we know, a lot of the artists will be campaigning towards this election. But what do you think about King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, where he was also at the villa just about a few days ago, where Femi Adesina had him at the State House. Well, I'm sure you've got the message. What he was saying is those of you that doesn't want the president to come back, I'm sure you got the message. Thank you very much, Anna, a very close friend with the Bright family as well. If you've just joined, we've had, Princess, she has left about an hour ago, but it was a very beautiful session with her. Let us take the concluding part of K1, the ultimate music that is creating some kind of controversy, but he has the right to campaign for whoever he wants to be the next president of Nigeria. Also, like I did mention earlier, we've been in touch with all the presidential aspirants, but it's up to them to come and hear their view to all the Nigerians, both home and abroad. Let's listen to the final part of that music. Then I will also be playing, Raskimono, where under pressure. Are we under pressure in Nigeria? Thank you very much, Dapsy. Thank you very much, very good friend, very good brother. Also, Ademoyi Babatunde, my very, very close friend, and I hope you're back as well from your holiday. And I hope as we are moving to 2019, there's a lot up and coming. But let's listen again to the final bit of K1, the ultimate, putting his praises behind, the present government of the day. Well, you've had it there. That's K1, the ultimate, saying is well behind, say Baba, say Buhari. Once again, I'm also in close contact. We should have Atiku. Yes, we should have him, on Star Radio UK. But as soon as we have, a confirmation on that, we will be able to confirm that with you. But I know, Atiku is planning to be in London very soon, but I have been contacted with some of those that are working behind the scene with him, and we hope we will have him right here in the studio so that we can ask a lot of questions, and also you will also have an opportunity to phone the studio, just like we had over 300 phone calls when Omoyele Sowore was live here on Friday during the special broadcast. So make sure you stay tuned for that. When we will be having, the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar on Star Radio UK. But as soon as we have all that confirmed, I will definitely let you know. We're also keeping in touch with those that wants to be the governor, House of Rep, so that we can have as many people to hear their views so that you can decide for 2019. There's a lot happening, but also remember,
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, Star Radio UK will be working around the clock during the election time. And make sure you stay tuned as well, where we will be able to give you as many updates that is happening coming up in 2019. There's already 68 political party that have registered, for this election, and it's going to be an amazing one. I was listening to the professor that is heading INEC presently. A lot of questions were thrown to him. Let's see if we might be able to listen to some of those conversations with him when he was speaking, on channels, the roadmap to 2019. the roadmap to 2019 have started already. But the most important thing is over 1.4 million people in Lagos have refused for whatever reason to pick up their PVC. Is that not interesting? You know, what ways, how are we going? But let us listen to, the INEC chairman when he was speaking on Sunday, roadmap to 2019. Again, as usual, you're still with me on
online, on mobile, DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, let us listen to a little bit from the clip of what the professor was saying on Sunday. Once again, as usual, my name is Olayomi Koiki. Well, we'll see if we can get that to you, but it looks like I'm getting a sound not coming through with that. But as soon as I can get a sound, I would definitely be playing that to you. But for the time being, as we are coming to the final, segment of this show, it's been a very beautiful one. Thank you very much, for joining everyone that have logged in so far. It's been an amazing Wednesday on another Niger Voices. Russia 2018 is around the corner. As you can see, this is going to be with me, for the very time until we bring back that World Cup. We have to bring the World Cup back to Nigeria. It is possible. If you've listened to what Councillor Princess Elizabeth just said in the studio, you must put your mind into whatever you want to do. This is a young girl that became the young mayor, and also she had 6 deputies working with her at the age of 15. So what is it that you think is not possible right now? Nothing is impossible. You just have to put your mind to it. She was also the deputy head girl while she was in school. She also was a senior ambassador, but presently now she's one of the 51 councillor right inside Bakin and Dagenham. We were also going to be having someone that a lot of you knows very well by the name of Dion Osage, but we couldn't get a call through from him. Hopefully, if he's still going to be in London till next week, we will try to bring him straight into the studio. But I wanted to have a word with him so that we can find out more on a lot of the project that he has been doing in Edo State. The whole 36 state, there has been a lot of amazing diaspora, and those are told that are working tirelessly to make sure that lives is really being taken care of. I've also been reading. There's a book I've been reading recently, very, very interesting one. I'm sure you can see that. That is Ebenezer Babatokwe. That is when the Abacha regime and the June 12th crisis. I've been reading that book, and by the time I finish this book, A Struggle for Democracy. I've started very well, but I'm a little bit slow reader. But I'm sure by the time I finish reading this book, I will come back and I'll be able to, take, my take on it. Remember, June 12th will never be forgotten in the history of Nigeria, and I'm sure as we are moving to that next election, maybe we are under. Yes, there's been a lot of struggle. Okay, looks like we've got a call coming through. Let's see if we can pick this call. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes,
hello,
we can hear.
Good evening. Sam Oyabayo is my name.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for calling. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Northampton.
Oh, Northampton. Thank you very much for joining us on this very beautiful edition of Niger Voices. What would you like to say, to the event right now? The program, rather, sorry.
Yeah, the event on Saturday, I would like to congratulate the people that organized this event for Take It Back and Showre. It was a great thing. It was a lot of expensive, a lot of energy from your side, and because of that, that is why I joined the group straight away. I came down, we drove down, my wife and I, to meet Showore and the group. I think it was a great thing. However, my perception is it could have been much better.
Okay.
There were lots of time wasting from the part of those that delivered different lecture, the cancer bit, the health, and all kind of things. Because my thinking is this, at this moment in time, it should be about how to win election 2019 rather than often, because we are the insiders that are looking at strategies to win the election rather than campaigning to the people. All those things were a waste of time, and as you and I knew, there are so many people who had questions who couldn't ask because of lack of time. I think we could learn from that. And the third one was probably the equipment.
Okay.
Oh dear. I mean, the DJ nonsense.
I'm sure.
I mean, the equipment was rubbish.
the organizers were taking the feedback and they're working on all what you've mentioned as well. They're also listening. And like I said, not just Showore will be in the studio. We're also going to be bringing, the former Vice President Abubakar Atiku will be in the building, but we will confirm as soon as we have all the arrangement. And Lester Shiode will also be in the building as well. We're going to interview every one of them so that Nigerians will decide come 2019.
I agree with that. Excellent.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for the call.
You're welcome. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Well, you've had it there. Some of the feedback of what took place on Saturday. Let's see, maybe in under 5 minutes we can connect straight to Ibadan and speak to Toyin Adedire so that she can give us culture before we exit the building. If we get through to her, she has been a very good contributor to this particular Niger Voices, but let us hope we can get through to her and then we can be able to hear from her. If not, we will move to the show to be the end of it when we will be back again same time next week. But once again, as usual, I'd like to say a big thank you to the caller all the way from Northampton. Thank you for putting that through as well. But the most important thing is Nigeria has been under a lot of pressure, and let's just hope that that pressure we can be able to withhold it till next year when there will also be change of government. Let us listen to Under Pressure.